So far, over 1,730 cases have been recorded by health facilities in the Greater Accra region, especially in the Accra metropolis. Well, the cases have been trickling into the various public health institutions, and these are concerns for not only health administrators, but more importantly, public health administrators. Well, we should be worried. There have been cautions as well as statements that have been made by various public health officials in the region who have categorically advised citizens to make sure they adhere to various sanitation practices and best hygienic information they can have access to. What also do we need the city authority to be doing? We're talking about the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and the Accra Metropolitan Assembly already has started making a lot more efforts in that very direction. Just, 2 days ago, they had to clear filth at the Agbogloshi market, and already efforts have also been made to make sure they clear the rest of the filth that have been heaped in certain sections of the metropolis. We have in the studio Samuel Kodo, and Samuel Kodo is the AMA's Chief Environmental Health Technologist, and we are privileged to have him in the studio. Are you worried about the number of cases so far that have been recorded as a result of the breakdown in sanitation, which has resulted in the number of cases of cholera in the Accra metropolis?
Yeah, actually I have to be worried because disease is not the best thing to be happening to us, because the current situation is not the best, because we know cholera is related to filth, and for that matter, fecal matter. Cholera is born in fecal matter, and for that matter, the presence of filth would always, encourage the spread of fecal-borne diseases like cholera, which we have in our midst now.
And what do you attribute the current rise in cases to? Because according to what the public health officials say, this is a far cry from what existed or was recorded the last year, even though the previous years had been a lot more than this year.
Yeah, I want to put the records right. I think for the past 2 years, we've not actually have cases of cholera at all. Because
not 2 years, last year. I think the other year we had. That was in 2012.
Well, it could be so. But then for last year, there was no cholera. But it's just unfortunate that this year we haven't it. And what has happened is about for the past 5 months, there has been some gap in waste collection in Accra, and we've mentioned that since the rain started, there has been this accumulation of waste, especially solid waste, in our markets, lorry parks, and places like that. But as I mentioned, for cholera, it's fecal matter, and it is due to our dirty habit of not using the toilet, because fecal matter is supposed to go to toilet, and refuse is supposed to be in the bin and be collected. But for cholera to come out, or for us to have cases of cholera in the system now, it's about people who are not using the toilet, like open defecation, defecating in open spaces.
And also maintaining adequate personal hygiene.
Yes, and then that is the other side, because the cholera germ is in feces. So personal hygiene should be protecting yourself, self-discipline and self-protection. And that is important, because the environment is sometimes polluted because of certain amount of negligence or whatever. So the current situation is all about our dirty habits, like even parceling or packaging fecal matter in polythene bags and then putting in refuse, which is not the right place for it.
Or even open gutters.
And you must know that we have disease-causing agents like houseflies, cockroaches, and others that are able to, visit fecal matter and at the same time our food or water. And for that matter, if even you protect yourself and then an infected fecal matter is discharged somewhere at your backyard, flies could easily, because they don't have barriers. Flies don't have barriers at all. So fecal matter could be transported by flies from feces to your food. If your food is not hot or is not protected, or you are not in an enclosed environment where flies could not, contaminate your food. And the current situation is about that. And then handling of the cholera patient, transporting the cholera patient to the hospital can also be a factor, because even the vomiters, if the person should be vomiting or this running, cholera is about profuse watery diarrhea.
That's secretion, you mean?
Yes, and for that matter, the fecal matter of a cholera patient should be well disinfected and then disposed of in the toilet, and not just thrown somewhere for maybe our domestic animals or whatever to carry it back home, or even for flies to go to it and bring it back home, and then you can be infected. And also, wherever a cholera patient should be detected, even the room that the patient sleeps has to be disinfected after the case has been sent to the hospital. And that is what we should watch now. So the families where if one case means that about 10 or so has been infected already. So that is what we should be looking at now, and then we can move forward.
Now, if you look at the current waste that is heaped and dotted around the city, and you're saying over the last 5 months, we've had this glut. How then do we resolve the current difficulty?
Yeah,
apart from just ad hocly trying to take a task force there or collection trucks, etc., to go and collect and dump.
Yes, our normal work or responsibility is to control waste generation in Accra. And for that matter, we've been involved in, collecting waste on daily basis, day-to-day basis. You say, but the current situation is about inability to dispose of all the waste that is generated in a day.
Why?
Because we lack a final disposal site, what we call a landfill site. You say it. Since February this year, we have to transport our waste to a distance of about 37 kilometers.
Where?
To boom, at Tema.
From Accra to Tema?
From Accra to Tema. Previously, it has not been so. The average distance was about 15 kilometers. But when we had to travel to Tema, then waste that is generated on daily basis are not all collected. And for that matter, there is this
backlog.
Backlog that is always, especially in our markets, lorry parks, because there we have the floating population, faceless people who come do business in Accra, and they number about 2 million, the market women, So these are the places we have a lot of waste in the system. And for that matter, the current arrangement is about, getting more equipment, like with the vehicles and the equipment to collect the heaps that we have cleared. And as I talk now, most of the heaps have been cleared in Accra, especially with the presence of the Vice President 2 days ago in the night. It was a motivation for us to work harder than before.
Was it a situation where there was nothing you could have done about it, just because, well, you mentioned we don't have a proper disposal site?
Yes, it was not that the situation was out of hand. We were working, but as I mentioned, it was due to the gap of the.
So the ones that the Vice President helped supervise, where did you go and dump them?
I must tell you, on that night, we had to commandeer a lot of vehicles, and then with the cooperation of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, I have to mention that, we brought all this equipment and opened a new dump site on the Nsawam Road, which we used in the night to cut all the waste to.
The new dump site, has it been prepared?
Yeah, it's prepared. It's been prepared for almost 6 months ago, but there was the need to bring on board a facility, a weighing bridge. That has caused a delay, but now it is functioning. Because of the present situation, we have to open it and then use it so that we can get all the fields collected.
Even though the weighing bridge is not available?
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
So
it's yet to come, because we have to import this from outside, and that delay is there, but we have to ensure that we have to clear the waste.
With the current difficulty, it means that you're putting the waste companies into a certain tight or difficult situation.
No, I don't think so. It is their responsibility, because they are agents of the assembly to collect the waste. But because we've not been able to get them that disposal facilities at appropriate place, and that was creating the habit. So it was not them. It was a part of the assembly, and then
if we were in a position to quickly, ad hocly, go and dump heaped refuse at a site in point, why didn't we preempt that and do it quickly? and you have to wait till it hips, and then we create, because now we have cholera and all these difficulties.
Yeah, we have other challenges in getting a waste disposal facility, especially even land, to acquire land to construct an engineered landfall site. It's a problem. But that has been the option that we want to go, because the Sumia one is an old quarry site which we have used over the years. But getting land and then convincing people to even accept waste at their backyard is always a problem. So you have to do a lot of public hearings, seek their views, to accept certain promises are even made that you should construct a road, you should build a health facility for us. You know, the community will not just sit down and accept waste at their backyard. And that is what we call the NIMBY attitude, not in my backyard attitude. It is always there, and it's a waste war. You know, you want to put waste at your backyard, maybe behind your house.
But nobody wants waste on their
Nobody. You see, that has been the challenge. But we must always, you know, negotiate, put in an advocacy.
We'll come to how in the future the AMA wants to address the current situation of finding a proper disposal site, or even, let's say, better
plants,
composting facilities, so that we can resolve the difficulties. So now, how are you circumventing or addressing the current challenge of cholera as far as the prevention side, or trying to tackle it in the community side?
Yeah, first of all, we have to actually eliminate all the waste. We have to collect all waste on regular basis, because waste cannot be 100% collected, because it's generated every second, every minute. So we want to control the waste, and it is the decomposed waste that attracts the houseflies and things like that. So we want to collect the waste fresh, just like we have eliminated all the heaps. There were about 17 heap sites. We've cleared all. Currently, we are even working at Agbogloshi market, where we have the heaviest volume of waste, you know. So we are going to put in place a regular waste collection system. We want to encourage our contractors to also pick the waste from the doorsteps of households, and especially they are talking about increasing their tariff, so that people will pay realistic fees to ensure that waste is picked efficiently and reliably.
And how are you collaborating with the health institutions to make sure that, especially once we have the current challenge, you address the sanitation difficulties that we're having?
Yeah, the AMA has a Metro Health Department that is actually collaborating with the Ministry of Health. And currently what they are doing is they want to do sensitization of food vendors to protect their food, especially these checkpoints in Accra. A lot of them are there. And then to encourage people to eat hot food. And then also for every case should be sent immediately to the hospital and be isolated and treated, whilst we also ensure that waste is collected efficiently.
One of the critical areas where waste is generated is the market. So we have market centers dotted around the capital. How do you deal with it, and how are you dealing with them now? What is always the practice? Yeah,
the practice, you know, the markets have their own system of waste collection. We have these communal containers, about 6-tonner, 10-tonner, 11-tonner containers dotted in these markets. You say it. And waste that is generated in the market are collected and then put in these containers. And we have assigned contractors to these markets. So waste is collected on daily basis. Meanwhile, we have our sweepers also in the market, and then they sweep on daily basis, put the waste in the containers, and then it's collected for final disposal. But the gap has been the disposal facility, and so all the waste that is generated on daily basis in our markets are not all sent to the final disposal site. And for that matter, there is always this heap accumulated sometimes, and that are the heaps that we have cleared from Agbogloshi market, Manlata market, Kokomemle, Kaneshi market, and other places. Currently, we don't even have any heap, and we have been given 10 days, by the Vice President, to ensure to eliminate all heaps in the system, and I think we're going to do that. Today, we are meeting our contractors to bring their input into the program by the Vice President, and that meeting is going to happen by 9 a.m. today.
And especially when the market tend to generate a lot more waste, and the way they generate it, because there's no separation, there's a lot more very mixed liquid waste. Is that a worry for you as environmental health directorate?
Yeah, I'm very worried, because for every waste category of waste that is generated has a facility for it. For instance, if you should mix the liquid waste, that is fecal matter, solid waste, which is refuse, is an indiscipline, which should not happen, because we all know from childhood that if you defecate, you should go to toilet. You see, we have been taught that, but I don't know whether it's for overpopulation or whatever, people are just being indisciplined and putting waste at the wrong places, which is a big worry, and that is contributing to diseases that we are facing now. But the AMA, for whatever case, we are actually responsible, and so for that matter, we are doing our best to control the volume of waste that is being generated in the market.
And more importantly, how do you think that the markets also need to be a lot more responsible for the type of waste they generate? Because it's a center where everything food comes, whether deteriorated or perished or not.
Yeah, for the markets, I think the individual responsibility is for whatever waste they generate, they should package it. For instance, if it is solid waste, it should be put in a bin with a tight-fitting cover, and then later, sent to the designated site that the AMA has, made available for them to use. And then we, as an assembly, will manage it, because waste management is about assembly. And then the individual's responsibility is to handle the waste and package it properly for disposal and make it available to the assembly for management. It is not a responsibility of individuals to manage waste, like littering the waste or putting it in a drain or gutter. Is not the best for individuals to do. They should just make the waste available to us, because the waste is our property, and for that matter, you are free to generate waste, but then it is your responsibility to make it available as applied in the liquid and solid waste bylaw 1995.
Now we have Agbogloshi and Kaneshi. They are huge waste generation market centers.
Yeah, that is true.
How do you hope to deal with that? Because prior to when the task force, or is it the emergency activity you undertook two days ago, just before the beginning of the working week, it had been on for weeks, and the media had reported extensively on it.
Yeah, that is true. For Kaneshi and Agbogloshi, as I said, we have a lot of floating population. So their waste that is generated is sometimes beyond the capacity of the collection. Yes, and with the landfill problem, whatever is generated is not all collected. There is always a gap. There is always a backlog. So we have to fight and then work. And then with that, before the action on 2 days ago, there was this backlog. But if you, on the day of the waste collection, on the day of the launching of the cleanup exercise that we are engaging, we didn't have the equipment to actually collect all the waste. Equipment is also another, that is vehicles. But on that day,
but the waste companies have them.
Yeah, they have them, but most of their vehicles are aged, and they are not able to cope the long distances, and sometimes they are breaking down. That is also a factor. But the biggest problem is the landfill. But then they also have the problem of, their vehicles. Most of them are using old vehicles, vehicles that have been used 10 to 15 years in advanced countries, purchased by them for use.
Not all of them.
Not all of, some of them, yes.
Not all of them.
Yes, but majority of them.
Because I know, for example, Zoom Lion, they imported new vehicles. Of course, they need
replenishment. They are the biggest stakeholder, I must say. They are the biggest stakeholder, and they are contributing to even this exercise. The others are yet to be met for them to contribute. Meanwhile, they are doing their normal work from homes and from the streets and all that. That is being done. So, vehicle is the backbone of waste management, because it is the vehicle that have to haul the waste from the collection point to the final disposal site. So if there is a gap in that, then you must always have some waste left behind on daily basis, and that forms the accumulation. But then with the current situation, I hope we are motivated to clean the work, clean the city, and then sustain it.
As you were talking, you were talking about backlog of waste that is left after collection. And you seem to think that it's normal.
I don't think it's normal. It's not the best, because waste that is accumulated is dangerous and injurious to health. And for that matter, I'm not happy for leaving waste. As an environmentalist, I will not accept that waste should be left behind. But if you do not have the logistics, especially when the waste is beyond 2,000 tons a day, and then you don't have adequate logistics to collect, then that is where you are forced to look at it and you are not happy, but you are to wait. You are to just wait until you have adequate capacity to be able to clean, because you are always happy when you clean. Okay. You say it. So,
so all these steps you've taken is just ad hoc, just because we have a current crisis. Now, what is the strategy of the AMA as far as waste collection is concerned? What usually is it? Yeah. What do you intend to do in the next 5 years?
Yes, that is the way forward for AMA. Yes, we have signed, there is this contract that has been signed. With the Conti project. It's an American contract that we have signed, a 5-year contract. And then we are looking at, bringing on board an engineering landfill site. We have acquired, the land acquisition process is ongoing. We want to construct an engineering landfill site and then create transfer stations, solid waste transfer stations. And these are stations that must be near the city.
Why do you need a foreign company? We have local. No, local companies.
It is a loan. It is a loan. Okay. It's a loan. It's not that the foreign company comes.
So as far as the technical assistance is concerned, it's embedded in.
But signed by the government of Ghana to support AME for a sustainable waste collection system. So we are going to construct a landfill site. Then they are bringing on board about 30 trucks for effective waste collection. We are also going to open the lagoon and the drains, construct new drains, and then we are bringing on board about 50 mini trucks.
50
mini trucks.
And they'll be managed by who?
By the AMA. The AMA is going to manage that to ensure, to support the existing contractors.
Are you going to have a waste management company do that?
No.
I mean, or is it just the department that will be managing?
Yeah, the waste management department is going to be responsible as a backup support to the existing system, so that if they are not working, like the heaps that have come, we just move in to collect. You say?
That is if you are informed that these are...
Yes, because we are monitoring the contractors. So for whatever waste that is accumulated, we are aware. And then we move in quickly to collect it, especially when it's in the markets and lorry parks and places like that. So, and then, as I was saying, I said we are going to have about 50 mini trucks. These are small vehicles, you can see them, the tricycles, that can move into alleys.
They're just few. Those are just small capacity vehicles.
Yeah, but they help a lot because we have low income areas that don't have a good layout and good streets. So these are the types of vehicles that we have to use to bring the waste to the transfer stations. And from the transfer stations, the waste will be collected and disposed of in the night, just like we are doing now. We are working in the night. And in the night, there's no traffic and the vehicles can be able to transport waste as quickly as possible.
And then thereafter, with the waste management companies you have as of now, we have the waste management contractors. They have is it an alliance or an association? And you work with them adequately?
Yes, we have a 5-year contract with them. There are about 9 companies working in 10 zones in Accra, the 10 sub-metros.
How do you assess them?
Well, the assessment is about a quarterly assessment, and we visit, whatever work they're doing, their performance. We look at their day-to-day waste collection, and then we also look at the number of clients they have registered. We look at the bins that they have distributed, and then we actually take data from the final disposal site as to the number of trips that they are making. And then out of that, we do the assessment on a quarterly basis, and then look at who is performing and who is not performing. Okay. And then those who are not performing, they are giving warning letters.
That's the preamble, the overall.
That is it.
I mean, in reality, how would you assess them, the companies? Would you say they're performing well? Yeah.
Well, currently, we are generating averagely, we are estimated waste generation in Accra is about 2,800 tons per day, and then we are collecting averagely 2,200 tons. And the performance,
200 tons.
2,000
every week?
No, every day.
Daily.
Yeah. And so
we generate over 6,000 tons of waste in Accra.
2,800.
2,800
tons per day.
A day.
And then
so we generate almost close to 9,000 tons of waste in Accra.
No.
Almost.
No.
Close to. It's over 6,000 tons monthly.
Yes.
Yes. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, that is it.
Or is it 60,000?
No. It's 2,800 tons.
2,800
per day.
So we're generating almost 90,000 tons a day.
Yeah, something like that.
In a month?
Yeah, in a month. That is it. So, and we are managing 2,200 tons per day. So you realize that there is some amount of uncollected waste, about 600 tons, remaining in the system every day. And the problems are there.
You seem to be happy with it. You're happy with it, right?
Not too happy.
Yeah, because you're doing nothing about it.
No. How can you be happy when waste is left about and the performance is 78%?
Well, you're doing nothing about it.
You want to hit about 85, 90%.
It means that some of the waste contractors are not performing.
Yeah, some of them.
Take them off.
Yeah, that is the situation. But where do you even get a new company to come into the picture? Because it's like they are finding there are difficulties with the workers.
They don't have the capacity.
Yeah, they don't have. They don't have.
Then why do you engage them?
No, initially they had a capacity, but you know they are using vehicles that are breaking down. Yeah, and then it's like the fees that the residents are paying.
Also inadequate.
No, we have implemented a polluter pay system where waste generators must pay, and a lot of people are not paying.
Mr. Kodo, where in the world is your benchmark? For example, when you go to the UK, you go to Singapore, you go to the US, etc. It's not as if they don't generate waste, but the rate at which efficiently they manage it is better than ours. Okay, if we think that the Western world is not a better benchmark because they are way above us, let's go to Rwanda, we'll go to South Africa, we'll go to Egypt, etc. It's better. Why can't we do same?
Yeah, I think we have. The way forward is to, you know, look at waste critically, look deeper into waste. And,
no, you're talking at generic scenarios. We're talking about what should be the reality. Why can't we, why are we not able to do it as a city authority?
Yeah, I think we have not been able to prioritize and package waste as a resource material. Waste, you see waste as useless, you know. And for that matter, we are collecting and just disposing of it. But you have to look deeper into waste and say, oh, there is gas in waste, there is energy in waste. And waste could be used for something else, other products. And then we separate it as source, you know, create an environment for waste separation. Maybe in every household you have 3-4 bins, yellow, green, and maybe brown. And say organic waste is this, plastic is this.
Who should be doing the education? You and the waste management companies.
It is assembly, and for that matter,
as well as the waste management.
Yeah,
the whole stakeholder.
Yes, because in waste collection you have standards, and the standards are there. So if you are not following due standards, then the problem is there. Because waste is not waste. Yes, waste is not waste.
Over the course of your career as an environmental health person or practitioner, have you gone on training courses and learned on some of these things?
Yeah, I've been to.
So you come and you sit down. You don't put.
Yeah, but the application, you know, sometimes practicing what you have learned is a problem because you need facilities to manage waste. Waste management is not about the personnel. You have the knowledge, but you do not have the machines. You cannot manage waste.
Do you think that's a very good excuse as a country? We should be mentioning
No. It is time we look at waste as a resource material and try to, you know, use it for other things. And then even land is becoming a problem. So why not separate our waste?
Okay.
Manage it in a way that we reduce waste that is going for burial. So that for a landfill could stay for 100 years.
The compost.
Yes, it's part of it.
What's the name? The compost.
It's a recycling plant. Accra compost recycling plant.
Okay, that's the name.
Yeah,
Ghana Limited.
Yes, Ghana Limited.
Okay.
By Zoomlion, and it is processed.
Okay, it's part of the Zoomlion group.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, they are doing a very good work.
Yeah, I mean, turning.
Do you think we need such?
Yeah, we need them.
Or more of such.
More of that, because that is about just 300 tons capacity. So we need more, and we are generating 2,800 tons. And the composition of organic waste is about 65% organic waste. So if that plant is taking 300, it's negligible. We need more of that plant.
We need more.
We need plants for recycling plastic waste.
It's a capital-intensive activity for you to set up such a plant. So what's the plan of AMA, because you are the biggest city authority in Ghana?
Yeah.
To make sure that that should be the direction we're heading towards.
Yeah, I think I mentioned about the Conti project, because that project is to come out with a landfill site with a waste-to-energy plant and other recycling components. So that plant, what we call the project, when it's coming to be, we're going to turn a lot of the waste into other products and reduce waste that is going for burial.
Okay, we'll have to open the phone lines. If you know you're watching us in Accra, especially, would want to have those comments from you. Please, you can call, and the lines will be on your screens. 03022116911 or 2. Again, 03022116911 or 2. And very soon we'll put those numbers. Okay, they are already on your screens. Please call any of those lines. And if you're in other metropolitan or municipal areas, you also want to comment about generation and what needs to be done, let us know. So now the direction is that we have to make sure this doesn't occur. How do you ensure that the next year by this time, we don't get to record cholera cases, having the vice president, who still would have been at post, all things being well, and not going to undertake an emergency response activity to go and collect heaps of rubbish at Agbogblosha and Kaneshie?
Yeah, I think this is the beginning. I would say that normal work is ongoing. The current situation,
you mean normal
about
waste collection?
Problem, yeah, it's ongoing.
But it's
otherwise, our streets should be blocked or something. But we are collecting.
But still inadequate.
Yeah, it's not sufficient enough to take all the waste. So what we have to do is, so that this will not occur for the president, is to sustain the current situation. We are encouraging our contractors, especially Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, to bring on board a lot of equipment. Currently, he has opened a new dump site for us. We're going to use it, and hopefully we are not going to create this current situation that has happened again. We are going to sustain the cleanliness of Accra.
Okay. We're grateful a lot more of you in Accra also calling. We have Mame Sewa. You're calling from Dansuman. Mame Sewa, you have a question or you want to make a contribution? Okay, we seem to have lost Mame Sewa. We'll get a lot more people on the line as well. So now we need a lot more dump sites. Yeah. And we also need to
transfer have stations.
A lot of transfer stations.
Well, the distances are becoming too longer. So if you have shorter transfer stations, then we can dispose of the waste. So it means
we need increased capacity of collection.
That is it.
Waste doesn't necessarily need to come from the assembly. It needs to come from the private sector.
Yeah, you have to engage people to do it, because if the assembly is not able to do it, then you put people on contract to do it.
Outsourcing.
And waste collection is not about anybody just going to collect waste. You must get a contract. You must get a permit to do it. You say so. That is the situation like.
Okay, we have Nuruddin. You're calling from Boko. Nuruddin.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, good morning. Hello, Nuruddin.
Well, yeah, I'm calling from Boko.
Okay, please make your contribution.
Yeah, in Boko, our situation is very, very scandalous.
It is what, scandalous? Well, sorry, I think our lines are playing tricks on us this morning. But so if we would have to go forward with it, and we need increased capacity.
Seriously.
Okay, so how do you hope to get that? Not necessarily the assembly. How do you hope to encourage the private sector to, the waste management company, to build their capacity or increase their capacity to do? What sort of collaboration do you have with them?
Yeah, with the waste contractors, before the contract was signed, they were to bring on board a lot of equipment, So that is why I mentioned that the Quinty project is bringing some equipment to revamp their operations. Yes.
Okay. We have Gideon. Hello, Gideon.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, Gideon, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Tema.
Okay, please, Gideon. You seem to be a very calm person. I hope you're not angry. Over waste.
Not really. But
okay.
I just want to contribute to...
Please do, Gideon. I'm grateful.
Concerning what the man in the station is saying, that he goes to Japan and other places to undertake studies concerning how to manage waste, especially the recycling. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Is aware, and he himself is aware that the machinery is not there for recycling. Why then do they waste money, send them outside to undertake this study? Whereas coming back, putting those things into practice is not real. Are you getting my point?
Yes, I get your point, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so I want you to put
all right.
that to him for an answer, please.
Okay, once he's here, he will answer himself. Thank you very much, Gideon. You're calling from Tema.
Yeah, my reaction is about, it was based on the question that you asked.
Yes, of course. I think I also pose that question, that we go and learn outside. We don't tend to.
Yeah.
So, but it's also because of we have budgetary commitments, etc.
That is it.
Whether we can have the capacity to do that.
Thank you for the comment.
No, I'm not answering your question for you. Answer for him.
Yes, it is true. As I said, it was based on question, and that it was to compare the situation here to other countries. And I said, well, there they have realized that waste is a resource material, and for that matter, they're reusing it and recycling it for other products instead of burying it. We are burying almost 90% of our waste at landfills. And for that matter, even getting land now to even bury the waste is becoming a problem because nobody wants waste at the back end.
And following with that,
so
could we have done better in terms of the separation, and then would it have made it more easy for disposal?
No, you cannot separate waste and go bury. So at the end of the day, it is still going to be a mixed at the landfill. So you separate waste that is necessary, and then you can have the plant somewhere to recycle it. You can't waste your time separating waste. Look at the metals now. It's a hot cake.
You mean the scraps?
Scraps. People, because it has value. You have to put value on our waste. And then send it to a plant.
Because other countries do.
Yes, and the plastics too. Now, a 60 pesos is for a kilo of plastics, the sachet.
Really?
So you find these people
Are the compost?
Yes, picking plastics now.
Okay.
From households for recycling.
We have Ali from Navrongo. Ali, you're calling from Navrongo. Please make your comments.
Navrongo, please. I want to speak to your host. I mean, the young man, the old man there. What are they doing as local government to employ those who are complete school of hygiene? For 3 years now, they have not been employed. And they are talking about machinery, materials. People are not also going to work to support them.
Okay. You mean the question?
You mean they have completed school of hygiene for the past 3 years now? They have not been employed. Why? What is happening? Local government, what is happening?
All right. I think I've gotten the import of your question, and I think you were rather directing the question to the guests, not the host. You.
Yeah, the issue about employment, I think, is with local government. And
did you get the import of his question?
Yeah, I got it. You know, there are a lot of workers, you know, have been trained. Maybe environmental health officers who have been trained and have not been appointed. They do the
town council.
Town council doing the house-to-house inspections and educating the public.
Okay, we'll talk about before you go whether those ones we need to bring those ones back. And from Taifa we have Robert. Roberto.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Your comments.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, waste has become a problem in Ghana here. And if we don't sit up, especially in Accra, the AMA, what they are doing now, they are not getting landfill sites to even dump the waste there and sell the land. It is time we go waste separation. They have to come out with policies that will allow houses to separate their waste from where the waste is generated. We should be serious in this country about 100 ways.
Okay. Now, Robert, do you agree that as Ghanaians we have an attitude problem?
We have the attitude problem, but if we have a policies that will enforce the polluter to separate the waste, we will do that. You see, because the AMA have to come out with policies. Because there is no policies, you can't enforce it.
There are policies, apparently. There are regulations that tend to guide indiscriminate disposal of waste, etc. Now, have you witnessed... No, wait, Robert. Have you witnessed a certain situation in which people are sitting in commercial vehicles we call trotro and throw waste on main roads? Have you witnessed that before?
Yes, I have witnessed it. I've been a witness to that, and I've even corrected some. You see, they have come out with some policies some time back that trotro owners should put dust bins or waste bins in their cars so that people will drop their waste in it. Those laws must be enforced. But who enforces it?
Okay, so you're talking about enforcement.
Enforcement.
All right, Robert, your point is made. Enforcement.
Yeah,
of your regulations. The waste, you're not enforcing.
We have policies, we have regulations.
But
the implementation is a bit of the
That's a deficiency. Whoever is in charge should be sacked.
No, sacking. No, maybe you need, like he's talking about putting a bin in a moving vehicle. That facility has to be purchased by the drivers or by the AMA and distributed.
No, he's talking about enforcement?
Yeah, enforcement
the regulation is
ongoing.
there. So why don't you
Enforcement
make sure you stop cars? Do you have this in car? If you don't have it,
Yeah, that should happen. But then,
at AMA, whose duty is it? Is it your duty?
yeah, for the supply of
Not
bins,
supply.
waste
Enforcement.
receptacles. Enforcement is about the Metropolitan Health Department. It's not the Waste Management Department. They are the some or the town
You don't
council.
have to purchase. The
Yes,
tractor
but
drivers
then-
can purchase
but
it. Enforcement.
Enforcement. Yes, like a household. You go to the house, you must have a bin and then put the waste in. Yes, that
Do
should
we
be enforced.
enforce?
It's part of our regulation. Even it was practiced at
Do we
Station
enforce,
one.
Mr. Kodo?
Yeah, the enforcement is there by its week. So I have to confess, we are enforcing, but I would say that.
Why is it that these days we have the absence of the so-called we call them the environmental health inspectors?
Someone is ongoing. We have about 10 in each sub-metro. Accra has
Only 10.
10 in each
have to-
sub-metro.
they have to-
Sub-metros, they are 10. So if we have about 10 in each sub-metro, then we have about 40. And then at the headquarters, we have...
The whole of Accra,
they are
Accra
enforcing-
metropolis, you have
Yes.
only 40.
Yeah, about 40, 50.
That's inadequate, don't you think?
Yeah, it's inadequate. Because Accra is expanding and...
And you have
we need
trained a lot
of-
more people from school and they are
Yeah,
there.
we are finding it difficult to appoint them. And
Why?
that is a problem. Maybe it's budgetary problem. It's a budgetary problem,
From what you're saying, the problems go beyond you.
Yeah. As an individual, no.
You
it's
have the
beyond me.
ideas, but
Yes.
you have proposed them, but there's
Yes.
nothing you can do
Yeah,
about
the
it.
implementation is the biggest problem you have. Implementation. Getting the facilities for it to work is...
I empathize with you, but
Yeah.
the point is that the thing needs to be done.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay.
It has to be done.
So now, from now till the end of the period, you hope that the current waste management crisis will be over.
It will be over because with the involvement of the vice president, the motivation is now high, and I think they are going to, because he was on the ground with us in the night and saw the challenges.
Thank God that the vice president came.
Well,
So if he didn't come, nothing would have been done.
We would have still been, we were planning to actually come out with a cleanup exercise, and it coincided with its arrangement to come and see what is actually on the ground. And he came in the night, and in the morning he actually evaluated work that was done in the night. I think that is a very big morale booster for all assemblies, and for that matter, the AMA.
Okay, which of the waste management companies are performing well?
Yeah, so far there are 9. We have about 3 or 4 of them who are performing. You have Asadu, we have Zoom Lion at Ayawaso West, we have GSO, Jason Owusu Company Limited, and then Jekura Ventures, they are also clothing. These are the main contractors, but others are really performing.
Drop them.
No, if you drop them, who is coming? Because it's expensive venture.
Mr. Kodo, drop them.
Because you don't have somebody to replace them. That is the problem. The vehicles are expensive. So you need just to encourage them to work.
How is waste paid for?
Payment for waste. Currently...
Is it through central government, the consolidated?
No. For Accra, previously, years back, it used to be AMA paying contractors on direct contract per ton of waste that is collected. But currently, it's about the waste generator is paying. You have polluter pay system has been implemented. And so if you are registered and fees are paid, yeah, it's working, but there are challenges to it because
can it be improved?
People are not able to. Yes, it could be improved by efficient service delivery. If you are efficiently collecting the waste to the disposal side, because waste collection is about efficiency.
Okay, so if you collect efficiently, then the person you are collecting will also be able to pay.
Because if you default, if it's once a week and you default for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you have to reconcile. You cannot get all your money. Meanwhile, you spend your fuel going there and it's like you are not being paid. So it's about efficiency and value for money. So that is what we should be looking at.
Okay. Thanks for spending your time with us this morning. We're very grateful. We hear that you have a meeting.
Yes, I have a meeting.
You're not late, are you?
No, I'm not too late. I have delegated one of my officers to be there. But
then we should have kept you to the end of the period.
No, I think it's okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
All right, so it's okay for him. Yeah. And Samuel Podo is the AMA's Chief Environmental Health Technologist and discussing waste sanitation as well as disposal, and also the subject of cholera and how the AMA and the relevant waste management companies are making efforts to make sure the current issue of waste disposal and the heaps that have gathered or are located in various spots in Ghana's capital, Accra, are currently disposed of. And we hope to bring you a lot more tomorrow, again, same time tomorrow. And thanks for joining us for today's edition. Again, it's your birthday. You were a former Majority Leader of Parliament and also Member of Parliament for Tema West constituency, and we say thanks for having a good service to the country. And lawyer Edu, and we say lawyer Paul Edu, thanks for your service to Ghana as well. And this is from Albert Ankra, and Albert Ankra is a consultant also for SDF, and we say thanks for all the contributions you're making to Mother Ghana, and thanks also for your contributions on our Facebook as well as Twitter handle. And please continue commenting on the questions we have posed on those pages. We'll be grateful to have those comments and relay them in subsequent programs on Joy News. Thanks for watching the AM show. Stay tuned. We have a lot more for you on the channel.